Coach, this is one of those opportunities where you see the same team twice in a row. After looking back at the film, what was kind of the focus of the shoot-around today and some of the things you wanted your team to get cleaned up?
Well, I think that's the good thing about facing an opponent twice. So you can see the adjustments that you need that need to be made. Obviously, combating their physicality, the way in which they got into the ball, disrupted our offense, moved us out of spots, then just some of our execution down the stretch. But then defensively, making sure we're controlling the pace of the game, but also understanding where we want to get the shots and allow the shots within their offense.
Now that we know Jalen isn't returning, he had the successful surgery we've learned, just how do you guys, I don't want to say move on from that, but move forward?
Well, you're grateful that it was a successful surgery, one, and then on top of that, you just, you're happy that he's made it through, but then you talk about being able to pour into him more once he returns with us and he's around us. I think those are the most important keys for us moving forward as well.
We know what he can do defensively, but he was also your starting point guard.
Mm-hmm.
What is it going to take to replace or refill that from a ball handling perspective specifically and a passing perspective specifically, and setting up the offense?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I think that's going to be a lot of game by game. I think it's going to be by committee. I think we talk about the defense being by committee, we talk about offense being by committee, and that's a big portion of it. It's going to be different handlers at different times of the game. If we realize a team is, fully aggressive, picking our point guard up, we might have to play through our bigs. Wendell, Golga, J.I., those guys being able to handle the basketball and get us into easier sets. If they're not pressuring Pablo and Franz, those guys become our point forward playmakers. I think that's going to be a big key, but that's also going to vary game to game as well.
You just mentioned Wendell.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in your starting lineup since I think the second half was out of the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Just what have you seen from him in that role, and how has he kind of helped you guys to be a steady force down there?
I think you just said it, just a steady force. I think his steady presence there, just the consistency of what he's done, what he's meaning to this team, hitting the glass both offensively and defensively, a presence in the pick and roll, understanding what needs to be done both offensively and defensively. But again, the consistency of who he is what's most important.
When we talked with him in the locker room the other night, he kind of mentioned that you guys have talked about needing to play with urgency, and he used the word desperation.
Yeah.
Is there a balance between the two of managing desperation and still playing with urgency, but doing so in the right way, or how do you kind of manage that?
Yeah, I think the sense of urgency is the intensity in which you play with. I think every night you step on the floor, there's got to be an urgency of doing the right thing, playing with an intensity, a focus, a passion for the game, but also for your teammates and for what what this community has given to you.
20 games left. Does it, you kind of see the finish line of the end of the regular season off in the distance a little bit closer? Does that increase the urgency, or does that increase the understanding of where we're getting, it's going to be crunch time here?
It's going to be crunch time, and recognizing that and embracing it and accepting what it is. That's a great thing to be able to see how we respond to it. And I think this is a group that will keep figuring ways out to respond together, how we play, what we need to do, how we can continue to play good basketball in these moments.
Good?
Good? All right. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
What's up? I'm good. How you guys?
Good. Franz, you just saw this team, valiant comeback effort comes up just short. What do you want to see out of your group over the full 48 minutes to put yourselves in a position where it doesn't come down to perhaps a last-second shot?
I think just more urgency, more focus, especially defensively. I think we can play a lot better. And I think overall our spirit got to be a little bit better.
Jalen's news just came out that he had surgery and his season's over. You guys obviously have been kind of looking forward to him coming back, but now that there's some clarity on that, just what is the kind of morale of the team, and how did you guys kind of receive that news?
Yeah, obviously it's super tough, for the team, but obviously for Jalen, most importantly. So we just want to be there for him, and obviously know that he loves to hoop and wants to be back out there, and rehab isn't easy, so unfortunately it's part of it. And I think us as a team, we clarity is good in that sense, that everybody knows that what the situation is going to be, and that everybody can lock in on their role for the rest of the season.
Obviously we know what he can do defensively, but he was your starting point guard. How do you guys have to adjust in terms of ball movement, in terms of controlling the ball, initiating the offense, whether it's you, Paolo, AB, Cole? How does that adjustment work now that you know that he's not returning?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think it's not just one person that has to step up and other things that Jalen is really good at. Obviously, guard play is really important, and whether it's AB, Cole, or Kojo when he comes in, that we make sure everyone's organized, and then Paul and myself as well. Taking some of that role as well, and I think it's a good challenge for the team because Jalen is a huge part, and we're missing him a lot. Hopefully we can get better from it.
Entering the final quarter season, there's 20 games left, and maybe see the end of the regular season on focus. How does that kind of increase the intensity of these games, or how can that kind of line up the focus for the play push the end of the season?
Yeah, with every game that we play, there's one last game that we have to make up some room and put us in a good position for the postseason. And so our urgency is super high, and that's how we got to play the game.
I know through the last few weeks there's been these walls that kind of put you behind. How do you guard against those walls, and what do you have to do as one of the key players to kind of prevent those or help the team get out?
Yeah, obviously individually you got to prepare for the game, but I think as a team, we can do a better job of helping each other out and communicating out there, and just being more of a cohesive unit, I think.
What do you think needs to change offensively? I mean, outside of just making shots, how do you guys find more consistent offense?
Yeah, I think making it a consistent effort, knowing what we want and knowing what our purpose is, whether we have an early advantage and can take care of that, or we'll take advantage early in the offense, or if we want to get it side to side, and everybody needs to be on the same page in that regard. And that's what I just alluded to, that it takes everybody to not just be focused on their game, but to communicate and be cohesive out there.
You guys have spoke about needing to play with urgency over the last quarter of this season now. And when we talked to Dell the other night, you mentioned playing with desperation. Is that kind of along the same lines, or is there a balance to managing that desperation for wins and still playing with urgency the right way?
I think just the way the season has gone and the spot that we're in, I think there shouldn't be a team that comes out and plays harder than us. So I think that's what that was alluding to. Mentality-wise, I do think that just playing with desperation and a lot of effort won't get you a win in this league. So you also got to be locked in and have a purpose as a unit. So that's just as important. But as far as playing hard, I think just the way the season has gone and the spot that we're in, I think that shouldn't be a question.
Franz, what has your role been like in terms of trying to keep your brother's spirits up, considering how much he wants to play and is understandably bummed out about his knee injury?
Yeah, I think with an injury like that, at the time that it happened, I think obviously he was super frustrated and sad, I think, at times too, which I think is normal. But I think for him, obviously mentally he has to kind of close this season as a chapter in a sense, because he knows he's not coming back. And I think what I try to tell him is that it's a good opportunity for him to maybe see the game in a different way and work on himself in that regard, because you have clarity and you know that you're not coming back in this season anymore. So and then at home, just also he's been in the gym so much, just rehabbing and lifting and stuff, just giving him a little bit of an outlet to talk about some other stuff. I think it's really important. Rehab takes about 90% of his day, so just making sure that he knows that life is about some other things as well.
Thanks, Franz.
Of course, thanks,
Please
guys.
don't trip on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you just saw this team a night ago. From your perspective, what do you want to see this group do so that way it doesn't come down to perhaps a last-second shot and provide a full 48-minute type of effort?
Just deal with the pressure better, play faster. Their defense is hounding. They're physical, so just dealing with the pressure better, getting into our sets quicker, and just locking in on defense, fixing some simple mistakes.
Without Jalen for the rest of the season after he had surgery, how does your role change, if at all, as a ball handler for this offense?
I don't know, man. It's pretty game by game, so I just try to stay ready and do what we need to do each day. But yeah, if that's what it is, I'll be ready.
How did the team kind of react to the news of the season being over?
I mean, it's just we knew something was going on, but it's just tough to find out. Obviously, that you're going to be missing a guy for 4 to 6 weeks and probably the rest of the season. So tough on all the guys. A lot of us talked to him before he got the surgery. So just he's in our prayers, and we're gonna go hard for him.
You mentioned that you guys felt like maybe there was something going on. How tough was the in-between period where there was like a question of whether he was going to come back or not? How tough was that period for you guys to deal?
I mean, that's just kind of the nature of the NBA. Gotta get healthy. You can't be out there, risking your health. So we fully understood that, and we were with him the whole way. Just obviously we wanted him back, but we were supporting whatever it was.
Coming up here on the end of the season, 20 games left. Does knowing that the season is coming to a close, does that increase the urgency and attention? How does that kind of start building as we get closer to the end of the season?
A lot. We're fighting for a spot in the playoffs for positioning. And we got a lot of teams to play coming up that's going to have something to do with that. So got to be locked in, focused. Like you said, we got to have a sense of urgency. So it's definitely some of that.
Jets come off the bench the last couple of games first. What have you seen from your perspective about the way he's been playing and what he's provided you guys?
He just obviously he's making shots. He's playing really hard, and on defense he's getting a lot better. He's playing pretty good defense now. He's blocking shots. He's getting steals. He's in the right position. So he's just with every game rep he's getting, I feel like he's taking advantage of it. He's growing and learning from it. So yeah, he's doing a good job.
How does Corey Joseph help you guys in moments like this, especially with the guards?
Just good veteran leadership. He's played on championship teams, been a part of a lot of good things, and he's been through a lot since he's been in the league. So he knows the game. Like today, he's helping us with how to release some of the pressure and how to attack it. So it's always just good having a smart point guard like that on the roster that could kind of give his veteran knowledge to a lot of the younger guys. Up, Josh.
Didn't you mean an additional smart point guard on the roster?
Well, yeah, an additional, of course. Of course.
Thanks, Anthony.
Appreciate y'all.
I'm just goofing on you.
No,
Please
you're all
don't trip
good.
on that.
I'll try not to.
Yeah.